You're listening to Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is the Lathums with Leave No Stone Unturned. Is the opening track to the new album, Matter Does Not Define, which has just come out. And I'm very pleased to say that I'm playing you the whole thing tonight, and I have all four of the Lathums with me. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Matt. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. It's good to see you. I've not met you before, so it's great to have a new addition to this kind of interview that we've done before. Scott, you have done this once before.
Yeah, lovely to be back.
It's great to have you back. Matty,
It's
welcome.
my first rodeo, yeah.
And Alex, you're the veteran. So this is the third album playback you've done for the Lathums albums. And I'm really excited about being able to play the whole thing to everybody tonight. Leave No Stone Unturned is the opening track. And what's it all about? It's kind of troubles at home, salt in the wound.
Yeah.
What's going on?
There's another version of that song that was supposed to be on the album, and when I went in and we was going to record it, John Kettle, the producer, he was questioning me on who Lucille was, so I wanted to kind of delve into that, and then it changed into this story of troubles from home, as you say, in these trying times.
Yeah, there's some kind of, that's an ongoing theme in a way with some of the songs. You know, you're discussing troubles in various different ways, both personal and more societal, you could say, which is quite interesting. How did you approach writing the new record? I mean, is this just a bunch of songs that came around at the same time, or is this something that you've kind of sewn together with a method?
I think there was a lot more time for sewing and repairs than our previous albums. So I think the process was more maybe thought out, you could say. But yeah, I think there's songs from yonder years, and then there's newer versions, and we had time to demo them and work through them to kind of pick the right ones for the time.
Yeah, interesting. And I mean, it's interesting the way that the album is paced, because the first two songs are kind of like mid-paced, then it kind of goes crazy. But generally, the whole feel of it is pretty upbeat, and it's got such a momentum to it all. Was it difficult kind of planning it and putting that sequence together?
Stuff like that is usually hard, crafting set lists and crafting orders of things, because we're anti-order, aren't we? Really, everything about music is there's no kind of order. It's kind of a little bit of controlled chaos, which is running through it the whole time.
I think it was a bit harder on this album as opposed to the previous two, like picking what actual songs went on it, because there was just so many to choose from that were like so good after demoing it 2 or 3 times and spending weeks and weeks in the practice room before even going into the studio getting them right. It was so hard to sort of whittle it down. Became quite stressful in the end.
Yeah. And is the practice room still this freezing cold, empty factory place?
Even colder now, I think.
I think we've gained a couple degrees, to be fair, these days.
We've got a roof these days.
Yeah, we've got a nice little roof and that, some
insulation.
walls.
Right, so it's dry.
It's dry, yeah.
Most of the time. When it rains.
Brilliant. You know, you'd think with all the success that you'd be able to, upgrade that tent.
Oh, yeah.
This is the
You'd
problem.
think so, yeah, but it's not the case, unfortunately.
So, and whose is that wicked laughter at the end of Leave No Stone Unturned?
It's probably my wicked laughter. I've got a few settings, some weird ones.
Can do it far too easy as well.
It sounds almost sinister. Was it intentional, or was that just something because you're enjoying playing the track?
No, I just...
There you go.
You're
I
right,
think it just
Matty.
happens sometimes.
He's just got a button, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it just... Yeah.
And it's almost like a rap near the end of the song in the kind of bridge section. What are you saying there, Alex, in that section of the song where it's... I'm trying to remember. It's like...
if you want it, you can get it, you can find it.
But about the crisis.
Avoid it.
Oh, I thought you meant that. Yeah, it's divide any answers, corruption, it's madness, in a common crisis, unrighteous devices, feed vices, advises, brothers and sisters conform.
So this is the future hip-hop career?
I mean, if someone will take me, I'd spit some bars.
Yeah, well, you can clearly do it. And what are those lines about? Because they're quite cutting, I think.
I think there's a lot of, like I said, and like you said, running through the album, there's a touching on problems in and around society, and just kind of my take on things. I'm not necessarily forcing anything on anybody or telling anybody anything. This is just how I perceive it. And there are some very troubling things in this world, unfortunately. But yeah, it's an escape from it. The music.
Yeah. But the words sometimes touch on it.
But be aware of it.
Yeah, no, understandable. You continue the record with Reflections of Lessons Left, which is the next track. And this is quite philosophical in a way. I mean, like the title reveals, I suppose.
Yes, it's the whole premise of the album, I would say, came from that song. It was originally called Matter Does Not Define, the song, but obviously we called the album that, so I wanted to change it. And yeah, it's looking past the physical, looking past what you can just physically see. There's more to it if you kind of scratch the surface a little bit and look through things.
And at what point do you share words with the rest of the band? I mean, when you're working on a track, are you working on the music and not really thinking about what Alex might be singing or saying in a song, and then you kind of listen to it afterwards and think, oh gosh, he's getting really deep on this one?
There's times when like he'll just do it off the cuff, and we'll be jamming something, and you'll start making lyrics there and then in the moment kind of thing, and probably all kind of comes just from that. But there's times as well when you take a lot of time, don't you? And like think like you don't need to sing at this point while we're playing it live. Hear what the song's like, and then kind of make the words after. So it kind of depends on the song as well. But a lot of them come from chords and Alex writing the words first.
Yeah. And this has an acoustic guitar. So this is kind of the ones with the acoustic guitar. Can we assume that this is more like the kind of thing that would start with you strumming, singing to yourself, and then saying, "Oh, what about this, guys?" And
yeah, I think it's the easiest way for me to express through the guitar. It's I've grown a lot more appreciative of it now, but a lot of the time it used to just be a tool for me, the guitar, just to kind of show people the sonic of it. But yeah, we always seem to work something out naturally, organically. When I bring things to the rehearsal room, we just kind of sit with it, and everybody does their own job, really.
Yeah.
Just gets on with it, like.
Well, there's always such a great energy to these songs, which is clearly from the band. It's quite cohesive. It feels like it's got a direction, a place that you're headed to as a group as you put these songs together. I think it always feels like you know where you're going somehow.
Yeah, I will say with a lot of that will be you just spent a lot of time in the rehearsal room just overplaying the songs to the point where it was so tight that you could take it in a live setting.
Yeah.
And that obviously helps recording music, absolutely, because there's no tweaks or anything. It's just you record what it is. So I would say there was a lot of that went into it that helped the process.
So you put the hard work in, do the hours in the rehearsal space. So when you go in to record, you've got it sorted.
You know what's going on.
Yeah, this album especially, and I didn't work on the past two with the lads, but from them telling me, we've spent a lot more time on like the band live side of it first, and knowing that it's a great live track, and then taking that to the studio, and everyone doesn't even have to look when they're playing the studio parts. Then it's just there.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's tweaks here and then, but it feels good.
Yeah, and I mean that's live in the sense that you've played them together as opposed to played them on a stage in front of people. Yeah. Well, I mean, it really shows. It sounds fantastic. And here's the second example of that. This is the Lathums with Reflections of Lessons Left on Radio X. It is Lathums with Stellar Cast on X-Posure Radio X. It's the third song on the brand new album Matter Does Not Define, which has just come out. I'm John Kennedy, and with me tonight are all four of the Lathums. Stellar Cast was the second single, I think, from the album, and this is really upbeat. It's a bit of a knees up in a way. And this has a nice origin origin story, I think. Some of the stellar cast actually refers to a stellar cast.
Yeah, it was playing in Leeds. I think it was 2019, maybe.
I think it was. Yeah.
And I'd suckled at the teats of the Jamaican ale, a little bit too much maybe, and it was all a bit of a blur. But it was one of our kind of first shows where it was a mixture of bands and mixture of people and stuff, and it was.
Can you remember the bands?
The Mysterines was on.
The Jamaican ale was
That's
flowing.
That seems to be the main factor.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Amazing. But then you kind of, so this is at the Broodnell, is that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And it's what happened after you drank this ale that kind of leads into the development of the song.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it was a dream or if it was. I don't know. I don't know if I was awake or not. When I woke up in a bit of a panic. I was a bit restless, a bit ruffled, and there was just like this kind of weird silhouette at the bottom of my bed, and I don't know if it was shadows or what. I don't know what to make of stuff like that. Me, but kind of just started having to write stuff down to kind of process it, and then it just kind of developed from there. Really, the actual style of the song has changed a lot since I wrote it. It was a lot more straight, just kind of 4/4, just easy. But with the sonic of it has changed up a lot, which is quite scary. It's got a lot of energy into it. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and this seems to be such a great default position for the Lathums. That kind of level of energy, because you bring it so brilliantly. It's always really exciting hearing these tunes, with that kind of Lathums style energy. And so I can't get you out of my mind. Is that a ghost that you've seen? The shadowy figure that you saw at the end of the bed?
The figure that be.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
God knows what they're up to now. Not seen them since.
Have you touched that drink yet?
I don't think I've actually had a red stripe since, to be honest.
Brilliant.
Get on the ride, then you might write loads of songs.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker's the next track, and this was another recent single from the album, and again, incredibly upbeat, has an almost galloping pace to it, and it also kind of reminds me of bands like Slade or Status Quo or something, because it has a kind of really straight 70s rock kind of thing going on, and yeah, I mean, that has an amazing guitar solo in it, has this big la 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 moment. It's almost like it's a fast car or something, and you get up to fourth gear quite quickly, and then suddenly you're in sixth by the last kind of minute. Tell us about this song. How did this come about?
As fans of the band will know, a lot of the music is very, even though tonally or sonically is usually quite jolly, it's always usually quite dark, the premise of it, the underneath of it. And just thought it would be nice to kind of have something where it's more uplifting, more kind of build up kind of self-esteem in a way. Something happy, something just not with no connotations of darkness at all. And it's just a fun track to play. It's fun to listen to, and it was fun to kind of work out. Like you said, the galloping, and yeah, it's the beauty of it, of when we make music, it's never the same. Nothing's ever the same. It's always very, very different. And I think this Heartbreaker is so different from a lot of the songs on the record. It's nice. Variety is the spice of life.
It is. It is indeed. And I mean, how do you work out the tempo of a song like this? I mean, is it Ryan saying, "Hey, let's try this," and then everybody jumps in, or
kind of just falls into place, doesn't it?
Does click
weird.
now.
Yeah. I mean, Alex will obviously bring it in with his idea of what the tempo should be, but then when we start playing,
then we'll do it properly.
But then obviously we start playing, and the tempo can change, just with like the feel of the song or whatever. If the grooves are different. To what you were doing, like with Stella Cass, started off dead straight and it turned into this kind of disco beat. stuff like that, because that song definitely
The
went a lot
gallop,
faster. Yeah.
The gallop developed afterwards as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't originally gallop, although I would love to gallop. Originally, I didn't
I thought
gallop.
you galloped here, lad.
Can be dangerous galloping. You know?
Hitched up right corner. It's not congestion charges. It's too much.
And is that everybody in the band doing the la la las? Is everybody joining in on
Yeah,
that?
that's a little
It
Only
was,
Fools
yeah.
and Horses moment, wasn't
It
it?
was, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
as independent traders.
I mean, this one, have you played this one live yet?
No,
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 not
no.
played
no.
This is going to be big, isn't it? Because, I mean, it's almost like you've got the hand claps kind of sewn into the
Yeah,
sound
we
of
have
the
actually.
song.
It's just a bit of a cheat code. It's just there already.
Yep.
It is
Yeah,
a good
ready
live
for
tune.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to
They're
go
ready
off.
for you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can all get involved in it now.
Yeah.
Excellent. Join in. Whether you've heard it or not, you'll be joining in by the end of the song, no question. This is the Lathums with Heartbreaker on Radio X. It is the Lathums on Exposure Radio X from the new album Matter Does Not Define. It's getting the Exposure album Playback treatment tonight. I'm playing you the whole thing, and the Lathums are here, talking me through it track by track. Dynamite is the 5th song. What can we learn about Dynamite?
Dynamite has taken many forms. We originally recorded it in Coastal. Is this correct, those?
Mhm.
It's
It is correct.
Coastal being where's
Coastal Studios in Liverpool.
Right.
Formerly Elevator, I believe.
Right. And so where was the body of this record recorded? This was in Wigan? No.
This was in
Yeah. In John-
mostly in Liverpool,
Oh, okay.
in Kempston Street with Chris Taylor. But you'll know that from the vinyls when you get them.
Right. Yeah. I need them in my hand now. What's going on? Excellent.
We initially recorded it in Coastal.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And it was a good few years
It was
before.
2 years ago.
Yeah, before album 3 was even a conversation. And this song kept reappearing in our lives, and I always really loved it because of the vocals. I think I also sang the vocals better on the demo than this recording, but you know, still get the album. Man.
That's just demo-itis. Yeah.
Yeah, precisely.
And then it kept coming up, and we kept revisiting it and everything, and it felt like it had a place in the album. It felt like it started something in its own world, and it's like it's a good mix of being soft and easy to listen to, but there's a lot of energy behind it, kind of driving it. That might be you too. That
Feels like a good live one, definitely. It feels like a bit of a nod to Northern Soul and Wigan as well.
Right.
yeah, man.
Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of Northern Soul in it.
Yeah.
So when I made the bass line, and I'm sure when those went 4 to the floor with the drums,
Bit
it was like
Motown-y, isn't it?
go Motown on it, yeah. And it suited the song, so
Yeah.
kicked on from there.
And there's, have I heard this right? Finally, you came in. I
Sauntered.
Sauntered. Thank you.
Sauntered.
Yeah, I couldn't read my own writing. It.
Sauntered.
Finally, you sauntered, which is a great choice of word.
Yes.
In with nothing on your skin.
Yes.
So I mean, a lot of pictures come in my mind.
Just imagine. Just
It
imagine.
sounds like a moment in your life.
Maybe.
Like, whoa.
And now we can
Something
all
you'll never
share it.
forget.
Yeah, I have a wild imagination. That's one thing I'll say.
It's good. I like it. And I like the way that you bring and create these pictures in our minds in the songs. It's excellent.
It's just what I do, baby.
Unrequited Love is the next song, and you actually take it down now. You give people a little breather. It's a bit slower. It's more of a ballad. Are those strings on this?
There, indeed.
Yeah, it sounds really lovely. And there's an amazing guitar solo as well. I'm assuming Scott is doing. So what can you tell us about Unrequited Love? So is this a story of somebody sitting in a coffee shop and kind of not thinking they're realising their full potential?
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like that. And it's maddening that two people, just one little moment, one little thing, can keep two people together for the rest of their lives, or they can just walk by each other. I think it's quite a surreal thing, that, and I was just kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, those kind of sliding doors moments where...
Yeah, and you don't really... I know it's cliche, but kind of judging a book by its cover, and if you kind of learn about a person or learn about something, you kind of start scratching the surface, and these interesting things might start popping out. I think it's good to like encourage people as well, and I feel like that brings out people's true colours with a bit of encouragement, a bit of nurturing.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful song.
It is.
It's a beautiful song.
And when did the strings come into it? Were they always in your head?
No, they weren't. That was a man called Simon, John Kettle's friend. He's a what's like a really good word? He's a
virtuoso.
He's a virtuoso. Yeah, well done, Matty.
Go on,
Nice word. I love
He
that.
is though, isn't he?
Nice, and he's very clever. Very clever.
He scores it out and then plays it all himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he plays the violin, he plays the cello, everything. So
Right.
yeah.
So he is
Some
a pretty
talent.
talented person.
Yeah, there's some serious talent going on. Like.
Yeah, amazing. And in terms of the guitar solo, how did you make these decisions about what to play? Do you work it out beforehand? Do you just let the music play and you kind of jump on your guitar?
It was another demo one from Coastal, I believe, that one from like a couple of years ago, and I was just I played the first bit and then you sort of chase it along from what you can hear in your head and get it right. Sometimes it happens first time. It might have happened first time, but I can't remember. Like I say, it was 2 years ago, and I thought there's no point trying to come up with a better one because it was all right.
Yeah.
No point trying to waste
So
time.
self-effacing. There's some amazing guitar solos on this record. It's a vital part of the whole sound, I think, for the Lathums. Those moments.
Definitely.
They really break up the songs and give it an extra something, don't they? Yeah, amazing. We're going to listen to it now. So this is the full glory, the strings, the electric guitar solo. We're going to take it down with the Lathums, Unrequited Love, on X-Posure, Radio X. It is the Lathums with No Direction on X-Posure, Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that's a 7th song from the new Lathums album. Matter Does Not Define is what it's called. It's out now, and all 4 of the Lathums are here, talking us through it track by track. We've got Ryan and Scott and Matty and Alex, and No Direction takes it back up again. This is louder, it's kind of noisier, more propulsive, and there's no direction but up.
Nice.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So that's
I
a
believe
great
so.
positive statement, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something, again, we can all share together.
Yeah.
I think No Direction is, without sounding stupid, people thought that was the direction we was going to take in terms of sonics, in terms of energy, in terms of the kind of songs we was going to be putting out. And then we quelled that and started releasing all sorts of songs.
You mean going back to the
going
first
back,
album or even earlier?
Yeah. But I think it just had such a good energy, and again, it happened in the demo sessions just before album 3 in Shabby Road in Wigan.
Shabby Road.
Shabby Road in Wigan. That was coined by John Kettle, copyrighted. And yeah, it was just, it had so much energy and it just felt really good, and we knew it would be really good to play live. I think they always seem to force the way in. The songs that are supposed to be on the album, they always seem to force the way in, and that was one of them.
Yeah, I think we made it a Radio X Record of the Week.
Indeed.
And of course, Say My Name was a Record of the Year.
Yeah.
So there's a strong connection between your band and the Radio X audience.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it's a bit of an instant hit, I think, No Direction.
Yeah.
It's one that you can immediately get and understand. And I like the positivity of it. Like you were saying earlier, Alex, it's good to try and inject that into some of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to be uplifted.
Yeah, you don't want to be driving to work in the morning and just being berated with information.
And worry.
Yeah.
Although the next song is called Until Our Bitter End, so that has more of a somber title.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I mean, it has a lot of acoustic guitar on it, but it's still a really upbeat number. It's quite a driving number as well. What can you tell us about this song?
I like to look at it from more, this is uncharacteristic from me, I like to look at it from a different angle of, it's us until the very end. It's not about the end. I'll sell my clothes so we can just live together. I'll sell my car. I'll just exist. I'll just be here, and it's just more about connecting with another human. Doesn't matter about the materialistic and everything else. I like to think of it as a us against the world kind of a song, rather than we're all gonna die at some point.
yeah. So it's just, the end is just that, whatever it takes to get there,
Whatever
but we'll be
happens.
together, and I'll sacrifice whatever I need to make sure that happens. Commitment.
Commitment.
A bit like with the band, in a way, you could say that.
It's
Possibly.
scary, commitment. It's scary, but
Yeah.
it's a good
Intertwined,
thing.
interlocked.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing.
From cold rehearsal room to mega stage to in front of thousands of people. It's quite a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We're going to listen to it now. This is the Lathums with Until Our Bitter End on Radio X. You're listening to X-Posure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is another selection from the Lathums. Knocking at Your Door is what it's called. Matter Does Not Define is the album. It's out now. And this really kind of gets serious, really, I think, here, Alex, lyrically, with regard to what you're talking about. I mean, it's kind of a crazy song because it starts so slow and then it completely changes and goes crazy.
Yeah, I think it was a very magical moment. I think it just kind of captured it, just the way it was supposed to be.
I think we couldn't decide on which version to do that song in the slow one or the fast one, so we did both.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that was it, yeah. Yeah, we were in Shabby Road,
Yeah.
and I think both tempos were being discussed, weren't they? And then can't even remember who it was. Someone said at some point, "Why don't we try combining them?" And then that was it. Then it kind of
Tempo
felt
change.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
felt really good.
How easy was it to make that transition, halfway through the song from the slow into the fast?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little gap with strings and that as well. It's fine.
Did you? I mean, you played it that way rather than take two recordings and
Yeah.
stitch them
Yeah,
together? Yeah. But in working it up, I mean, it was. Well, I suppose that you're all just such tight machines at what you do. It's like, well, you can do that.
I
Just-
feel like it'd be harder to have two separate ones and put them together than just to do it as one
As a
fluid
one
thing.
piece,
Yeah.
Feels good live, that one as well. We haven't played it yet. Hopefully we'll soon. But it feels good live to go into that change and pick her up for the second half of the song.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. It's very atmospheric, the beginning, and then
Yeah.
it just kind of bursts with loads of energy towards the end. The
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, that transition, and it's such a powerful song. These words are really powerful. So the situation that you're outlining on Knocking at Your Door, with the bailiffs or debt collectors or whoever it is, coming to take away things. Is this something that you're seeing around you, Alex? Is that why you're talking about it?
It's like a rat race, in it. Everybody's just trying to get one up on each other. And I've seen it growing up where I've grown up, where there's not much opportunity, not much money or facilities and stuff like that. And it's just it's always the common people, the little people that always get thought of last. And I just see it every day where I'm from, and I imagine everybody else does. So just wanted to put my thoughts into something.
Yeah, and I'm assuming everybody, so many people will identify with what you're saying in these words. It's really important that you express this. It's really interesting and engaging, and yet at the same time, everybody can have a kind of mosh,
Yeah.
in a way. To that
Forget
track.
about it for a moment and
Yeah.
enjoy the song. Yeah.
Yeah, goes crazy. The next track is The Jester. And again, you keep it upbeat. This is an amazing bass line on it that I really like. And who is the Jester?
Well, you could say, we be the Jester.
As a collective.
Yeah, mate, like we're the entertainers, the kind of
Bringing joy.
bringing joy and merriment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. But I think it's more just self-indulgence. That one. I like to write stories. Stories, not storage. I like to write stuff. Well, I used to like to write stories, and I think things just stick with me, and I have to kind of write about it. There was a song years and years ago called "The Wicker Man," and there's a couple of little name drops in there, and I think that kind of subconsciously stayed with me. And Jester was one of them. And it's just a really, really wacky, wordy song that I like messing about with, and it's fun. It's a fun one, that.
Yeah. And is it fun delivering these lines then, and singing them out?
Yeah, I can like kind of be theatrical in the wacky words, whereas the more kind of serious ones can't really express in a theatrical as much way. But when the words are as mental as the person singing it, I can kind of be a little bit more fluid then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And do you think you're enjoying becoming more of the entertainer in a way? Like you've come along today, you've got a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, man.
It suits you. You wear it really well.
Yeah.
And you make it look as if this is just how you dress every day. I mean, maybe you do. I mean, I'm looking at the rest of the
He
band.
does.
And you turn up with the cowboy hat wherever he goes.
Yeah.
How long have you been wearing the cowboy hat then for?
Oh, I've not taken it off, and there's just a bar around my head. I've had the hat for a long time. It was when we went to America, and everybody pitched in and got me because I've always loved it. I want to just be on a farm and raising cattle and looking after my crops and stuff. That's what I aspire to be.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, I'm trying to live it a little bit. I'm trying to live it, and then hopefully I'll have my little.
He'll be on horseback coming into
Oh mate, absolutely.
With a guitar, singing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Singing cowboy, that'd be brilliant.
I don't need nothing, just a little bit.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, it looks so natural, so it clearly, it's paid off because if you've really, embraced it, and I like the idea that they all pulled together and pooled their resources and got you the hat.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll be in leotard next.
Brilliant. Fantastic for radio. Though, of course, the cowboy hat looks amazing on the radio. And yeah, I'm well into it. We're going to play the song now. So this is the Jester. It's the Lathums on Radio X. You're listening to X-Posure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is the Lathums with Surrounded by Beauty. It's the penultimate tune on the brand new album Matter Does Not Define, which is out now. And I've been playing the whole thing, and all four of the Lathums have been talking us through it track by track. And Surrounded by Beauty is a really powerful song, and you take it down. We were talking about cowboy hats. This almost has a kind of country feel to it in a way. It also reminds me of maybe Buddy Holly. There's that brilliant trumpet work that's going on there. Maybe taking it to Mexico as well. There's a lot of different reference points, and it has such a great melody as well. How did this song start?
Again, just very bare bones, just lyrics and a little guitar, and then it was birthed to what it is today by being a group. I think everybody did a really good job serving the song, because it's easy to throw everything on a track or a record, and it kind of loses its identity a little bit. And with slower, softer songs, maybe it's even easier to kind of dilute it. I think personally, but everybody play it just to serve it, and I love that song, me. I think it's turned out so well. Like one of the nicest sounding ones on the album, I think. It just has a really nice, like you say, it's got so many different places, and it's easy to listen to. It's got a good message.
Yeah. And the trumpet, who is the star behind the
Joe
trumpet?
from Red Rum Club, that. Joe
Oh,
the
really?
Lord.
Oh,
Old
wow.
man himself.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Shout out to him. He smashed it.
He just rocked up,
He didn't even know the
Went
song
like
or
that,
anything. So.
flicked his briefcase up, he said, "Purr, purr." I said, right, I'm ready. And just went in and smashed it out.
You didn't even know the session was with us.
No.
It was
Really?
like a
Yeah, we're
surprise.
good
Wow.
mates with them,
Christmas
like,
stuff
from
like
Yeah.
seeing them about.
So he just turned, and then he opened the door, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it was
it's
us.
the-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That
We knew
is-
it was
Oh,
him.
easy.
We knew he was coming,
Yeah.
but he didn't know he was
Yeah,
coming into
yeah.
our session.
That is
Scott
amazing.
Buck.
That's hard to believe, Scott.
Session
That's-
roulette.
I think he took it to a really good place. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
It's what
with
it
that
needed.
playing.
I feel like that's what that song needed. Was
Mhm.
something
It has
a
got
bit
that
out there.
Americana kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mariachi band. Yeah, yeah.
Once he'd done the first line, which was obviously the melody line, it was Scott who said, do you think you could do a harmony as well? And he was like, yeah, go on.
Yeah, of course.
And then there it was. It was done, and he's done 2 great parts. So
Yeah, it sounds amazing. That's interesting. You've stolen Red Rum Club's secret weapon and brought him into your own arsenal. No, which is fantastic.
For one night only.
Yeah, for one night only. Are you doing any shows together this year? Are you going to be able to?
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Great. He's a really good lad, Joe, as well. So we'll have a funny time.
Yeah,
He's a good lad.
Yeah, he was on the show last year. They came in for a chat, and it turns out that he went to school with one of the presenters here at Radio X, Rich Wolfenden, who's on the show, who does the Radio X Indie Night on a Friday or Saturday night. He went to school with Joe. Yeah.
Wow.
Small world.
Yeah, it's a small world. Such a fantastic song. And the last track on the album is Long Shadows, which gets pretty epic. There's loads of kind of echoey effects on the voice as well, which is what's going on here. And it continues that kind of Western motif in a way from Surrounded by Beauty. The guitar has a kind of Western kind of feel to it.
It's like Ennio Morricone, isn't it?
Yeah. So it kind of starts slow and it's quite plaintive, I think.
I think, I don't know, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know if we will ever capture something as epic as Long Shadows. I think just everything about it, just what it started as just a little idea from Scott riffing on the guitar to what we have at the end of it, like the vocal taking one go and nobody wanted to touch it, and it was just a moment in time and everything just kind of fell together. I don't think we'll ever make anything as epic as that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we make something well better in the future, but my God, it's
a band favourite.
It's a blunderbuss. That of a,
Can't wait to play that one.
That'd
be really good.
We're really excited for people to feel that live, because it's different when you're just listening to it through a speaker in your car or whatever. But it's just raw beauty. It's just so proud of how Long Shadows has actually turned out. Because it's so different, I think, from what we've ever put out there and whatever we've conveyed. It's so atmospheric and it's led by the atmosphere. It's not led by the chords and all that. It's just so cinematic. And James Slater also did an amazing job on the music video for it to kind of express the song in a visual manner. I think just very ultimately proud of that song.
Yeah,
Had to end on Long Shadows.
It felt like the last tune. Yeah, we all did track listings when we were obviously trying to decide, and everyone's draft came back with Long Shadows last. Just seemed the right move.
Yeah.
Proper
So that was one
end.
decision made.
Yeah, that was 1 out of 12.
Yeah, no, it's a great way to close the album. And it's interesting because I'm very peculiar in my ways is an interesting line that is now gracing a Lathums mug, I believe. I mean, I saw it on the website. Which is fantastic. A lot of people will catch on to that.
Yeah.
And so the plan now is to include that in the sets. So obviously there's a lot of touring going on this month because the album has just come out. And how much of this record is going to be part of the set list?
Well, we want to play it all, man.
Yeah.
But people have just got to let us know. What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
So social
don't want
media,
any of
use
it.
it to
Yeah,
your
if you don't-
advantage.
if you don't-
Request
if you-
those songs.
If you want Great Escape 14 times, so be it. But no, we'd love to play the whole album in full. That would be that'd be nice for us. But it's about everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in it.
Hopefully we can play them all over the span of the tour.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them every night.
Yeah. Well, but maybe you should say to somebody, look, maybe we can do 1 or 2 shows where we're just going to play this album.
Yeah.
Why not? If it's a smaller place that allows that opportunity, then
Start to finish.
yeah.
Great.
But if that's what you want to do, I think you should do it. I think it'd be exciting.
They keep telling us to do what we want to do, don't they? They keep saying, not rock and roll enough, yous. Say you got to do what you want. And I was like, are you sure?
Well, I reckon that people would want to hear Matter Does Not Define in full from start to finish.
I would, but
Yeah.
I'm a bit biased at the moment.
No, completely understandable. The album's fantastic. 3 albums in. I mean, you're feeling pretty stoked about the whole thing now.
Yep.
I suspect you would be. No.
Can't wait for tour.
Long
Yeah.
may it continue.
Yeah.
Way past album 3
Yeah.
till
Yeah, exactly. So you
It's
get
but the
even more
start.
epic.
Yeah.
and get more epic than Long Shadows.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think it can be done.
Well, and you don't need to touch it. It sounds amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been brilliant to talk to you and to hear about the album. And this is the last song then tonight from Matter Does Not Define. This is the Lathums with Long Shadows on X-Posure, Radio X.
Radio X.